That's it. It's all over.
That's my little thing.
Yeah.
Hashtag give up.
Welcome back to Little Things, the self-care podcast where I ask my fave people about the little things that make them happy in the hopes that I learn some things about how to make my own life more meaningful. We spoke to Remy last time and I found that chat really interesting for a number of reasons. I don't spend much time in my physical, thinking about my connection to my physical body or doing activities that really ground me in that. And I love the idea of, making stuff with your hands, and inevitably in any creative process, things don't always go right and things don't turn out how you plan them, whether that's in making a ceramic mug or whether that's in like your real life. And how do you see those quote unquote failures as opportunities to learn and grow and see the beauty when things fall apart or when things don't turn out how you hoped. I felt like we went really deep with Remy and I really loved that chat. And today we have a really awesome guest, someone that I have been a fan of for a really long time, having seen them in Fangirls, which is one of my favorite theatre performances of all time. I think it's probably my favorite musical ever. And I'm talking, of course, about Milo Hartill, who is an incredible model, performer, public speaker, and person on the internet. They're so much fun. And I really was interested in speaking to Milo for this series because talking about self-improvement inherently can feel negative or can imply that you're not enough. I wanted to speak to someone who has struggled with their mental health and has had struggles in their life, and hear about the self-care things they do on a very minuscule level to make themselves feel better when they are going through those periods where they struggle. I also wanted to speak to someone super funny and entertaining, and you'll definitely get a lot of really good stuff out of this chat with Milo because they are just hilarious. And I think it's such a gift to be able to take moments that are really dark and take lessons from them or see the humorous side where you can in some of those moments. Milo's relationship with her friends was something that I really wanted to dig into in this chat. Having people who you can be your 100% real, authentic self in the goods, in the bads, felt like something that really worked for Milo as part of their self-care, and certainly for me, probably an area that when I'm busy, like the first thing to go if I'm thinking about it, sorry to my friends, is like prioritizing my friendships and thinking about how I show up as the best friend that I can, especially when people are struggling. So I think when you're busy, you're kind of not as mindful about those things, and I definitely want to be more mindful of those things, not just for my self-care, but for my friends' self-care. So it was really a good reminder and a potent reminder from Milo about the importance of that and how much those relationships obviously change the game for you. That's why we're all here. But enough about me. Let's get into Milo. But before we do, obviously, as always, a huge shout out to Angostura Bitters for making this episode possible. Obviously, we're in dry July at the moment, and I'm thinking a lot about how I can kind of consider my alcohol intake, and having a drink that I can go to do that and still have like a super cutesy special little moment while limiting my alcohol intake or reducing my alcohol intake is really fun. And so love those guys. And here's Milo. So welcome, Milo, to Little Things. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, but I'm really annoyed about this outfit game that you've got going on. It's really...
I don't know what you're talking about.
And I knew you'd do this to me as well. I was like, I've run out of nice outfits and now here you are.
These are my pajamas. I rolled out of bed and came straight here.
So every single person that I bring on this podcast, I like to ask, what's your little thing?
Well, my little thing is that I give my keys to my close friends to my house, and I have their keys. And I think it's just a nice reminder of community and that people can always check in on you. And if I'm worried about my friends, I can check in on them.
It's nice for friendship, but it's also practical. It's also economical.
100%.
Yeah.
And if one of my friends sees on my story that my partner's cooking a lasagna from scratch, you best believe they'll let themselves in and come have a slice.
When did you start sharing keys? Tell me.
A few years ago, just like, firstly, it was practical
Yeah.
for like
Forgetful queens, we need
forgetful
check-in routines.
divas. Luckily, in my house, you couldn't lock yourself out. Like,
Oh, you need to put the key in. I love
to
that
get
for
out
people,
and to
like
get
us.
in. We lived in the city, me and my old housemate, and it was just like, if people get stuck, then like, we initially had our keys in our letterbox, and then I thought about it and went, that's not a good idea, I don't think, because a group of Milo Hartill fans used to camp out across the road from our house at the cafe. And I would just like let myself out and then like, oh, there's my keys, city street, there they are, da, 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 off I go. And then I was like, hashtag love the fans. They don't need to see how messy my room is.
Yeah, they don't need to fully go through your drawers at this
No,
stage.
they don't
unless
need to
invited.
see. They don't need to see how full my washing
Yeah.
drawer is. They don't just need
I
to
hate
see.
when people rock up and uninvited just because I'm not that tidy. So it is quite stressful. I like it in theory. And I think we've lost that maybe in culture a bit where it is more casual. A lot of the times I catch up with friends, it's around like catching up on our lives versus doing an activity. Do you know what I mean? Or just being. It's kind of like, tell me everything that's gone on with you. Okay, let me tell you everything that's gone on with me. And it's these monthly catch ups where we go through those things versus like fully integrating a friend into my life. And obviously, I love to do that. I love all my friends, like love you guys. But it's more just a time thing, I guess. If you're not mindful about it, it just becomes another kind of thing on your to-do list. And it's still lovely.
I kind of like having everyone have a set of keys. Just
Yeah.
like, I mean, obviously I'm always out of town. I'm always out of town. I never get to go home. But it's nice, like,
You're a
just
busy
for,
gal.
like, practical, just like, hey, I have a package coming today. Hey, I can't remember if I turned off my electric blanket and I'm gone for 6 weeks. And like, I've got a friend who lives down the road. But it also is just like I came home, not last night, the night before, from a long day of work, and a group of my friends were just at home hanging out. And I was like, oh, hi everyone, how are we all going? And it was so nice, just like we all caught up as I kind of packed for Sydney. And then I was like, well, I got to go to bed. Like, I'm going to Sydney tomorrow morning. And my bestie was like, I'll take you to the airport if you want. And I was like, oh, my flight's at like 8 a.m. And she was like, I don't imagine we'll be done here until like 4 or 5. So I can just stay. And I went, yay! I don't have to pay $90 to go to the airport. I love when my friends hang out and watch YouTube and I win from it.
What does friendship mean to you?
I think I've been evaluating a lot of my friendships at the moment because of how my mental health is and how I'm like, oh, if my friend's mental health was like that, this is how I would be checking in on them. And some of my friends have been being so proactive, and it's been really nice to remind myself, like, oh yeah, that she's a real one. But yeah, I think my closest, nearest and dearest friendships, it's just a relationship where not tongue punch and gash.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is so vulgar. I do say that in my show.
It took me a second to I was like, what are we saying? Where's this going? Love.
Tongue punch and gash.
Love.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick that one up.
I've been talking about this a lot because I feel like getting in a relationship always changes friendship dynamics. And
is it new, your relationship?
God, no.
Yeah.
Old hat.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's somewhat new. It depends on what you class as new. It's been
Okay,
a year and a half.
I feel that that's not new, not old.
Yeah, like the honeymoon phase has just ended.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh,
now
yeah.
it's like,
you're in it.
Yeah, now
That's
it's
for
like,
sure.
I need you to go shopping. I don't want to go shopping.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going shopping.
Yeah.
And we need to do this thing by tomorrow. And
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'll go shopping. But I think friendship means a lot of things. I feel like friendship, hilariously, the day I met my partner, I did a podcast last year about soulmates. And I was like, soulmates are just friendships. I can get sex where I want, but soulmates, like all of my soulmates are just my friends. And then I met my partner that afternoon and I was like, oh, no, I look like an idiot. I don't
Is
know,
your
I feel
partner
like-
your soulmate?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
annoying. It was like love
Really?
at first sight. I was like, it was actually no, it was rage at first sight because I told a joke and they didn't laugh, and I was like, hello, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I'm a girl who makes jokes at group gatherings and everybody laughs.
Rude.
And they were the only person that didn't laugh.
Yeah.
Which made me go,
Were they trying to get your attention, maybe?
no.
No.
No, they literally were
Just,
like,
they
my
didn't think it
only
was funny.
memory of you from that day is you being like, God, I'm so drunk. Oh, God, I'm so drunk. And I was like, I spoke to you so many times. And they were like, yeah, to offer me a drink and I'm sober. And I went,
Sorry.
whatever, I know. And now, cut to now, and I don't drink. The
Really? You don't
influences.
drink at all?
Significantly less than that day. That day was a summer party, and I brought a bottle of tequila.
You're like, hey.
Hey.
Hey,
now,
guys.
oh my God, I like for the first time ever didn't lie to my doctor. They were like, how many standard drinks do you think you have
I
a
hate that
week?
question.
And I was
I'm
like,
let's
2.
talk.
And she was like, really? And I went, yeah. And she went, why'd you say it like that? And I said, because I've lied to you every other time. And she said, why? And I said, because I don't want you to know.
How did drinking less? Because I'm thinking about it a bit for dry July as well. Like I'm just thinking about how much I'm drinking and just like being more mindful as to when I do actually want to drink and when I'm just doing it because it's a habit.
Yeah.
How has it been for you in drinking less?
Well, I mean, I started drinking less because of my one-woman show. Naturally, I'm the only person in the show, and there is not... I don't know if there's many covers for the Australian production of Black, Fat and Faggy that could go on and, you know, being me, there's lots of slurs in the show. Ones that I'm allowed to say, just to clarify. I'm not saying any of the ones that I'm not allowed to say. And you shouldn't either.
Yes,
But
please don't.
to tell stories about being black, fat and gay, I talk about being called the N-word and all the colourful language around it. So I was like, okay, I have to be well for my tour. And as well, the closing number was I Have Nothing, Whitney Houston. And I was like,
Oh, you can't
I
do
can't
that on a
sing
hangover.
that and be sick.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I'm thick. I'm a bit thick sometimes. And so a million years in advance, people were like, do you want to do all these gigs after your show? And I went, yes, I'd love to. But that meant that I was doing lots of nightclub shows after my solo show. And I
Wow.
was like, I just
That's a lot of
have
pressure.
to make a promise to myself not to drink because it's just so easy when you're in the club and every club you go, you get a rider of X amount of drinks and it's, yeah, I don't know. I think making that hard and fast rule for that small amount of time just kind of expanded to the rest of my life. And like unfortunately, and I hate to say this, and I'm so sorry I just want to say a formal apology to all the party girls out there, but I did feel so much better for not drinking.
Having a cutesy drink like a lemon lime and bitters definitely makes it easier. So I just want to hear a bit about you growing up and also how you got to where you are now.
Oh my God, this is like so much pressure.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I just am like, oh my God, what are the important plot points? I grew up in Perth. I was born in Mount Lawley. But yeah, I was a very quiet kid, very studious kid, but also very funny kid, very bullied kid, but very funny kid, but I just never would say it. I had lots of good relationships. I feel like this is like the story of my life of everyone who ends up in the arts, but I had great relationships with my teachers and they were like, if you told the jokes that you tell us in private, I think that you would get bullied less. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Gets to this one day and our teacher goes, who has a good impression of Austin Powers? And after having not really spoken at all at school to any of the other kids, I stood up and with my full pussy went, you make me horny, baby. And that was the start of the monster that you all know now as Milo Hartill. People would come around the school. I was in year 5 and people in year 6 would be like, we want to hear the Austin Powers impression. And I was like, I can't unless you get me something from the canteen. I got lots of cheese toasties from that impression. But I, had all these friends and we were all in the playground and I was like, Maloki, Maloki on Maloki, Milo. And the name stuck. It followed me to high school. I was going to go back to being Maloki in high school. And then the one person from my primary school that was at my high school was like, this is Milo. And then everyone was like, Milo, that's such a cool name. And it just has stood the test of time and I think suits me more than my birth name. It's cutesy, it's chocolatey, it's silly, has Australian connotations. And I'm like, I feel like that's a bit of me, a chocolatey, silly guy with Australian connotations. So then I went to high school. I went to a musical theatre high school. Didn't think that there was any hope for me getting into WAPA, but like I secretly wanted to do it. And then I did get into WAPA and I was very stunned. And then I moved to Melbourne. And then I got scouted as a model on the street.
That's so cool, by the way. I would always, like, when I was a kid, want someone to come up to me and be like, "You're great.
Well,
Do you want to come get pictures?"
Famously, I grew up in Perth, so I thought that they were taking the piss, so I cussed him out and was like, "Do you feel fucking cool? Does that feel good? You feel good about yourself saying that to someone on the street? Do you feel smart? That make you feel big and brave?" And they were like, "Oh, I might just give you my card." I sent it to my mum and she was like, "Oh, that was a real modelling agent." And I went, "Fuck." So then I went for my go-see and I was like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" But then I still ended up getting signed. Oh, that's, I guess, another part of the story. I didn't know I was gay just because I'd never really thought about it, because the world makes fat people believe that they don't deserve love. And I was like, well, it doesn't matter if I'm straight or gay because it's not going to happen for me anyway. And then I had a screening of Catwoman with Halle Berry in it with my friends, and they were all like, "Why do you like this film? It's awful." And I went, "Halle Berry's hot, obviously." And they went, and then I, in that moment, went, "Guys, I reckon I might be gay." And they went, "No shit."
Thank God you caught up.
Thank God. Literally, nothing like looking back on high school and being like, oh, I would get pissed off at that person for having other friends because I was in love with her. Funny. Funny. Good to know. Yeah. I was like, no, just, she's not going to be a good friend to her. And everyone was like, why does it matter? You will be a good friend to her. I'm like, yeah, but she shouldn't want to talk to other girls.
That's funny.
And then came here, started as a model, started modelling, doing all that. Started posting a lot about Black Lives Matter, which I was posting about because I cared about it, but then it meant I gained some semblance of social media notoriety. So then I had social media representation, and then I did an ad for Google, which went viral, and I was on the morning show. And then finished my uni degree, got into Fangirls. Bob's Your Auntie. I was in Cyrano at MTC. And then I met my partner at a housewarming, and now it's now.
And now it's now. We're all up to date. And then you got invited here, and you're sitting here now. All right, so it's time for me to tell you.
Oh, yeah, the drama.
The connection that you and I have that you don't even know about. So, Fangirls.
Okay, this is not where I thought that was going.
Really? Where did you think it was going?
You look so much like my friend from Whopper. I think you're going to be like, that's my sister.
Really? Oh, well, my sister actually worked with you on Fangirls.
Oh.
Ella Griffin is my sister.
Oh.
Yeah. But she didn't go to Whopper. Isn't that so weird?
That is so weird. Oh my God, she saw me in the pits. If you want to ask someone how they deal with my mental health,
Ella Griffin. No, but she sees me in the pits every other day. Like, I'm literally like, hello.
I had a panic attack on the Opera House stage,
oh,
darling.
Man. Oh, it's a big show. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I had a panic attack in the zombie shootout section.
Oh, really?
Of like the most high
Die, bitch,
octane
die,
song.
yeah,
part. Literally. We landed on the floor and I just was like, oh no.
Oh.
And then we stand up and someone pretends to cry, and I go to her and I'm like, are you okay? And then I was like, they're like, are you okay? She went, oh, I'm like, are you okay? And I went, no.
You're like, the panic in the eye, the panic sets in.
You got to imagine me doing the hot big brothers, but there are tears streaming down my face.
You were so good.
Thanks.
You were amazing in that show. I love that show so much because I think, there's another really fun connection with Fangirls. T, our producer of this show, sitting right over here, was interviewed for Fangirls when Eve was writing it as a fangirl. And they made the show off the back of chats that they'd had with T and her friends about being a fan.
Oh,
so
my God.
your role was like directly informed by the shit T says to her friends on Discord and Reddit.
I'm literally I wish I grew up a fangirl, but I think
I'm a late fangirl.
I was a victim of which I think is probably good for my job because I feel like I'm just around famous people a lot.
Yeah.
And people that I do respect their work. But I'm like, if I met some of these people and was like, it probably
no, you can't do that.
Bad for my job.
You have to play it cool.
But I do love the passionate and unashamed joy. I think that was, I learned so much from, I was in a play reading of Eve's new play last night, and all of the fangirls showed up and they made us friendship bracelets, and it was just like, I was like, oh, this community, and they all came together and got photos together. It was so sweet.
It's just nice for girls' passions to be taken seriously anyway. And that show is such a good, joyful example of that playing out.
When I found out it was happening again and that the old cast weren't coming back, I was like, Jules is I couldn't get an audition. I could not get an audition for it.
Why not?
Just because of how they were running the auditions.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
like invite only, and I just graduated uni.
Yeah,
so
okay,
I
fair enough.
was
You're like, hey
not
guys.
on the radar of
me.
anyone.
Mm.
Jill, I was like, sorry, if they let me in, I will be booking that show. I need to get in that room. Like, there's not many shows. I walk into most auditions, like, there's no way I'm getting this. But I was like, if I can get in that room, it is mine.
It's yours.
It is mine.
And 100% it was yours.
I wanted to do the splits 8 times a week on the Opera House stage. Let me do it. That was silly. That was not
I was born for this.
That was not in the original show. They were like, give us a crazy offer. And I went, they don't call me Milo crazy offer Hartill for nothing. Give me the stage now.
Oh my gosh. So how did you get in the room and how did you have that confidence to go in?
A friend of a friend of a friend, I was like, ugh, I want to do it. And he was like, let me see if I can link you up with this person. And then I linked up with got linked up with Reese Velasquez, who is an incredible casting director, diva, friend. And I was like, hello, we don't know each other very well. I want to go for this show. And they said, yeah, I watched your showcase. You're a star. Let me link it up. And then one thing led to another. And then in the really close to the end, they were like, we'd love to see all this material from you. And I was like, I am at the airport, but I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And then the lead got announced and I hadn't gotten the call, and I was like, there is no way I have not booked this. Got off the flight and I had 100 million missed calls from my then agent, and I was like, yes, I knew it. And I called them and they were like, we have some good news. And I was like, did I book Jules and Fangirls? And they went, how did you know? And I said, because if I didn't, I would have done something violent and regrettable.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And you got it and it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. That's so crazy.
I know, isn't that so weird? But yeah, it's such a funny, small world. But being a public figure, I imagine, is really hard.
From time to time, yes.
And something you've told me already was how when the comment section gets too much, you hand it to a friend.
Normally I have my comments restricted anyway. So it's like if someone wants to comment hate, they have to follow me and then refresh and then come back to my page. Which I'm like, that is so much effort to tell me that you think I'm a fat bitch and I should die, but sure. But occasionally I'll leave my comments on just to work with the Instagram business, get that engagement up. I'm like, nothing like posting about fat people deserving respect to get the engagement up. And
fucking hell.
by God, does it work? Because I posted something about Fashion Week and I put my comments on, and it was just like, I literally went to the toilet and I came back and I had 300 comments that were all like, well, maybe if you had a diet and went on a walk. And I was like, I'm a full-time dancer. Get it through your fucking head. Get it through your head.
How do you manage with so much kind of outside, external shit on you like that?
I mean, it ebbs and flows. Sometimes, unfortunately, Melbourne winter is terrible for the mental health because it is so cold and so dark and there's no sunlight. So it's like, I feel like every year from May to July, I'm like, I think I'm going to quit social media and modelling and acting, and then it gets to August and I'm like, guys, I don't know what came over me. I love
Just
the
in a silly,
arts.
goofy
I
mood.
just freaking love my life. It's just beautiful. I literally was like, and every year it feels like it's the first time, and then I'll get a memory like a year ago today, and it's me being like, that's it, I'm quitting. It's
all over.
It's all over.
Yeah.
And I'm very much in that right now, even though I'm saying all this haha, so silly. I'm like, I'm absolutely going to go home after this and be like, everything's awful. But I feel like it's just the way of the world, unfortunately. And sometimes that's easy to deal with. And I'm like, oh my God, these incel losers are so embarrassing. And it's like, oh, you think I would even look at you on the street? I wouldn't. If I saw gamer boy Dylan 111 on the street, I wouldn't even look at him. I wouldn't see him. And I know he would see me because he'd be in his mind like, I'm going to go and comment hate on some person's post because I just had to see her in the street. But then there's other times that I'm just like, whoa, like with that post, I was like, this is just like an onslaught. And I was responding to a lot of people who were like, hi, like I've seen all the comments on your post and this is crazy. And I was like, yeah, so go say something nice. Like you have the argument in the comments with the person.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, why is that on you to respond or monitor
Yeah.
or whatever?
And it's also just like, you know, all of the incels were like, oh, you're too afraid of facing the truth. You turned your comments back off. And I was like, no, I just don't want you all feeling.
Not facing the truth. What
It's
truth?
like, I don't want you to feel vindicated that I haven't responded to your message because I haven't had time because there's thousands of you and one of me. But
also,
I just,
why should you?
why should I? Honestly, because it's fun and it does make very good content for
fair
my
enough,
one-woman shows. But
Yes.
like there was a whole section that was just me reading hate speech and then doing an analysis of their Instagrams. There was one woman who was like, oh, I can't remember. This is not going to be verbatim, but if you've seen the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. But there's this one woman goes, go back to Africa where you belong and don't bring your fat aids to Australia. And then I went to her Instagram and her Instagram bio was love and light, mother of 3, wife to 1, spread kindness wherever you can. And I was like,
Hayden, Braden, and
Jaden,
Jaden.
literally.
Oh, God.
You know, dealing with the hate, it is hard, but I'm like, I would rather it be me who at least most of the time thinks I'm the hottest person alive and can deal with people saying these things about me than the version of me that was in year 10 in high school, trawling the internet, seeing how much people hated fat people and kind of assigning that to myself and my own being. Whereas that's not about me. It's about their internalized belief of fat people. And it's so funny because it's from so many people that I'm like, I know for a fact if you put us in a dance room together, I'm dancing circles around you. You put us on a fucking run together. Like my partner is so skinny mini. They eat more than me in a day. Like they absolutely eat way more than me in a day. And I exercise way more than them in a day. And they are size 6, teeny tiny skinny mini. And I am a size 20, 22. Like at the end of the day, some people's bodies are just not meant to be small. And people's bodies are just meant to be small. You can beat yourself up about it as much as you want, but at the end of the day, like, what can you do?
Yeah.
You can't change what you were born into and what other people were born into. And I think people need to mind their own business as well. I'm like, oh my God, you're taking all this time out of your day to comment this hate at me. Like,
People have way too much time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, go do your dishes. I'm like,
Yeah.
all these men that are commenting, I'm like, go spend time with your kids that are in your bio.
Hayden, Jaden, and Braden.
Go spend time with Hayden, Jaden, and Braden.
They need
like,
you.
Why do you know so much about me?
Yeah, it's weird. It's this weird kind of dark obsession and very strange projection onto you, which would be really tough.
But I deal with it with friends, and I give my friends my phone.
Yes,
and
I like
so
this.
What I do is I say hello, delete/report/block the comments that are negative, unless I've done a really funny response that you think is worth it enough to leave on the post, or if it's funny but I haven't responded to it, screenshot it so that I can use it for future reference, and then just delete all the other ones. And my besties all have the same sense of humor as me, so
They get it.
they're like, I get it.
Yeah.
They're like, I screenshotted this. I don't know if it's like funny, but this is what their account looks like. And I think that you can say some stuff about that.
Yeah, if you
And I'm
connect
like,
X
okay,
to
great.
X, there's your punchline.
Well, yeah.
Write me a check, thank you. A writer's credit.
100%. No,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll buy you a drink.
And it's a lesson for me as well to actually fully lean on people in that way. Like, you don't have to do all this stuff on your own. We were chatting before we've done this podcast, and you said to me, I don't have it all figured out when it comes to self-care. Then you proceeded to list to me all this really cool stuff that I want to talk to you about on this podcast around what you do for self-care. Tell me about your approach to pillowcases.
Oh my God. So when I get Nespresso Depresso, I feel like I'm definitely better at it now. I'm proud of myself. There was times when I was at uni that I would be like, and I think because I don't get BO, I could get away with it, but it was pretty bad. Like I'd not be showering for a significant amount of time, and then my housemate would be like, "Your towel is like bone dry," and I'm like, "What?
That's crazy.
That's crazy." And
Whoa.
they're like, it's like giving like you're. When's the last time you had a shower? And I'd be like, "What an interesting question."
Let me just think about that.
Next question. See ya. But I always like to have clean pillowcases. That's if I don't have the mental health or the energy to change anything else, to do anything else, if I'm going out in the same pajamas, there was a time in uni that it was like I would wake up in the morning feeling like awful.
Oh, I was ready to like dance with you there and then you like dropped it. Yeah, okay.
But I would like get up in my pajamas. I would take my pajamas off, put an extra layer underneath my pajamas, change my undies, and then put my pajamas back on and go to uni. And then I would come home, take off the underlayer, change my undies, put my pajamas back on, and then get straight back into bed. Like,
why do you think that was? A comfort thing, would you say?
100%, and warmth. And I mean, it was in uni, so there's the Australian musical theatre degree eating disorder, so everyone just gets so skinny. I mean, I was still fat compared to everyone else, and I was the big girl, but for me, I was teeny tiny. And I was just so cold, and I was like, these pajamas smell like my bed, and if I wear them to uni, I can remember that despite the horrors,
you can go back to bed soon. I
can go back to bed soon. But if I didn't change my sheets, if I didn't change my mattress cover or my doona cover, I'm like, I just have to have a fresh set of pillowcases because I've got to keep this skin looking good. I love the smell of my washing detergent.
What one do you use? Because I don't like mine.
I don't know. Oh, God. I feel like I'm going to say what I use and then people are going to be like, you can't use that. It's not good for you. And I'm going to go, yeah, well, my nan used it. Okay, and I love my nan.
It's so funny.
Like
getting judged on washing
I feel
detergent.
Like it's the whole,
honestly.
I get it. I'm a woke lefty keyboard warrior SJW, but sometimes I'm like, fuck, I just want to be able to drink this specific brand of whatever soda. And people are like, so you don't care about kids? It's like, I do. I do care about kids. Oh, my God.
Oh, God, it's tough.
We're
tough
so brave.
time.
It is tough times.
We are brave.
We're so fucking brave. No one gets it. It looks like I'm crying. I just had sleep in my eye. I just realised.
Whatever, you're crying. I do want to get a tear out of someone. It doesn't have to be you. But on this podcast, if someone doesn't cry at some stage and not just me,
okay,
I'm going to be upset.
Like, wait, let me wait.
Yeah, you're like, this is the perfect time. We can cut this together.
Yeah, but I like to keep my pillowcases clean. It makes me feel clean. I like how it smells. And having dirty pillowcases is so bad for your skin on your face. And I like to feel like I'm someone who washes my face morning and night, which I thought was normal.
Yeah, when you said that, I'm like, yeah, aren't we all someone who washes our face morning and night? No? Is that not happening?
I know lots of people who do not do that.
This is like that feet thing again. Do you remember that whole saga recently where everyone's talking about, like, do you wash your feet in the shower? Do you wash your feet in the shower?
I do wash my feet.
Okay, yeah, I do as well. But it was a good reminder.
With a loofah.
Oh, lovely.
Lots of people don't like to use loofahs, but I'm like...
You're a loofah girl.
I like to feel like I've gotten out of the shower and a whole layer of my skin is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that skin went through the trenches, but now it's gone.
What else do you do? So you've got your... And I do like just on the... In the shower, what do you do? I mean, where's this going?
Around.
But with the pillowcase advice, I think that's so good because it does feel very... And dare I say it's a metaphor for life. Taking one small step versus like trying to do everything at once. It's very overwhelming. There is something very overwhelming about washing your sheets.
But yeah, well, it's like with my like depression, like I just was like, my aim for the week can be change my pillowcase once a week. Pillowcases, imagine I got one pillow. You come to my house and it's like a blue mattress cover, a navy blue thin doona. It's like, hey baby, this is the house. Anyway, if I can shower before bed and do my pillowcases, then I've done what I need to do. Also, having a heated throw on the couch is my self-care.
You are the second person to tell me there. That's like a thing.
Heated throws are so gorgeous.
Why?
Because it's warm. It's like a big hug.
Okay.
A heated throw. My next goal is a heated throw, and then on top of that, a weighted blanket. I feel like.
Yes, I still haven't gotten into the weighted blanket game, but I'm
Me
ready.
either. But you're supposed
I'm
to
ready.
you're supposed to, depending on how big you are, you're supposed to get a certain size. And I'm like,
Oh,
the
God,
ones
here
that
we
are
go.
for me size are going to be so expensive. We looked at one for my partner who is just over a third of my size. And I'm like, that one's like $1 million bajillion. Mine's going to be $1 million bajillion dollars. Maybe we'll just make one at home. Go and get some rocks.
Just get some bricks, put it on the side of a blanket. We're like, we're so calm. This is
so
really helping
nice.
my depression. Oh my God. But as a fellow depressed gal, I think, and like, am I depressed at the moment? No, I don't think I'm too bad at the moment. But I really relate to you because this podcast is all about making meaning and bringing joy to like the really, really small things. And the whole reason that I wanted it to be so little and minuscule is because so many conversations around self-care go into such a productivity hate spiral place for me and for people. And so it's cool to have someone who I can relate to that's not like, let's wake up at 5 and then we do 20 million different things. Like I'm never going to be that person and I never want to go to that place.
That's not self-care, that's punishment.
Yeah. That is
What do you
tough.
mean?
I know.
No, my partner works in coffee, so they are up at the crack of dawn every day. And like they'll sleep until 7 and be like, oh my God, a treat. And I'm like,
Ew. Imagine
a
7 a.m.
a treat.
Imagine.
Treat. Oh my God, what sick, sad timeline are we on if that's a treat?
Yeah, I know. Life's gotten really dark. No wonder we're all depressed. Bloody hell.
Literally. It's like there's the horrors of the world and 7 a.m.'s also a treat. To what end?
Let's just give up now. That's it. It's all over.
That's my little thing.
Yeah.
Hashtag give up.
Well, I did want to ask you about advice that you had, and I'm going to quote you because I like to do my research for this podcast.
Beautiful pop cards. Wait.
I know, thank
you. Show that.
Look what I do though. I crumple them and the team's like, I just made these perfect for you. And then look, they're all crumpled.
But I'm having fun.
Pretty punky.
They're awesome. I don't have my glasses on, but I can see that it's branded and that's beautiful.
Yes, it's very lovely. So what was I going to say to you? I was going to talk to you about advice that you have given. And I think this was a few years ago that you gave this advice. So I'm wondering if it still works or rings true to you now, or if you feel like, what the hell was I even talking about? So to just say fuck it and do the stuff I want to do. That's the piece of advice you gave.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I feel like I still have that and I half have it and I half don't. But I do feel like it's because we're in a right-wing swing.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like depending on the politics of the world, I feel like my views of the world and the opinions of the world change so vastly. Like, I feel like I probably would have said that.
I think it was 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
So that was peak,
that was peak Black Lives Matter. I'm like, I can do anything. And now
anything's possible.
The right wing has gone, no, you can't, N-word. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
Bit of a step change.
I feel like yes and no. I feel like I'm very much reevaluating my life at the moment. I'm like, the acting industry is so right wing, and like I went in for an audition a few weeks ago, and like someone who auditioned after me was like a known sexual assaulter in the industry, and I was like, what am I doing here? What? I thought, oh God, who was the guy that was really that guy that everyone was from bloody Rocky Horror? I was like, I thought after that happened, I was like, yeah, we did it. And now it's just like, oh, we did it for that generation. And now our generation is like, la-di-da, I just want to work. And I'm like, oh, I mean, I just want to work. I think I'm like, fuck it, just do the thing. But I'm also like, you think you just came out of a coconut tree? We don't just exist. We all have to like speak up for and fight for the things that we want. And I think that's very much a practice that I think we all have to engage in. You can't just lean on the woke people in your life to do the speaking up. You can't just lean on the brown women in your life to speak up about racism. You can't just lean on women to speak up about femicide and sexual assault against women. Like, I'm very much like, fuck it, do what you want, but also have morals, have ethos, have things you believe in, have a worldview that you would like to live in and exist in. I just struggle so much with so many people are like staying in my lane, like putting my head down and focusing on me. It's like, okay,
Very
that's
individualistic.
that's so beautiful. Once they get the gays and the blacks and the fat people, Larissa, you're next. Like, women are next. And then after women, it's going to be effeminate straight men. And after effeminate straight men, it'll be poor straight men. Like, it's like, I don't understand how people don't see these alarm bells going off and be like, hang on a minute. If after Black Lives Matter and everything that we saw happen literally 4 years ago, we're seeing this happen, I don't understand how people aren't like, uh-oh, I'm in danger. You know that clip from The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I'm in danger. I love that version of me for being so idealistic about like, oh my God, anything's achievable. And I think to an extent it is. And like I am very much for like, I think I'm going to put the gears down in the acting and performing part of my life so I can focus on being a woke lefty social media influencer and model. But yeah, fuck it, do what you want. But if something isn't serving you and something isn't, fulfilling you in a way, I don't think that there's any shame in having a step back and readjusting how you can incorporate that into, like, your work and what you do is a part of your self-care.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was so lovely to have you. I feel like I've learned so much about, particularly around friendship, but also just as we were talking about, it doesn't have to be the biggest thing ever that you do from a self-care point of view. It can literally be so granular.
And self-care doesn't have to be just like leaning on yourself. I think self-care is looking after yourself, looking after the people around you, knowing that they will do the same onto you. Doing things that make you feel happy and fulfilled and alive and like your existence is wanted and needed.
And reassess as you go.
Yeah.
Love. You got it all figured out.
Reassess as you go. Oh my God, I need to see where that's from. I would love to see
I'll send you this.
I'd love to see my other responses. It would have been like, life is beautiful and I love to traipse around.
There were pictures of you on a beach and you looked so happy. And it was in Perth.
Yes, those photos are from the day I found out I got fangirls.
Oh, exactly.
So I was extra like, do what you want. Anything's achieved. I just booked my first show at Sydney Opera House. Wow.
And then you changed all of our lives with that fucking show, let's be honest.
Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on. Oh my gosh, okay, love that. Well, we are your number one fans and we do want you to come back anytime. So I know you swap keys with everyone. Do you want Punky HQ keys?
What the frick? Yeah, that'd be so silly.
Okay,
please.
Of course. Every time you're in Sydney, you don't need to hit up your friend. Well, like maybe you do because you can't sleep here.
Yeah.
But then the daytime, you're here.
Yeah, give me a fob.
Yeah. Amazing.
Cut the cameras.
That was so good. This Junkie Media series is executive produced by Alice Griffin, that's me, and Jana Anderson, and produced by Evie Giorgio and Talisha Vescio. Thanks to Angostura Bitters for making this episode possible. It's our fave addition to Nolo drinks this dry July.